Hey man, check it out. I got a sword too. What do you think? You don't talk much, do you? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Collecting and Hobbies. And today we're doing the first ever Spawn review from this channel. And there he is, Mortal Kombat 11 Spawn, what they call the, let's see what they have his name on here. There's the packaging, all different sides. The Covenant Spawn is what he's going by. So this is a different skin that you can use in the Mortal Kombat 11 game, other than his regular, red color scheme. So this is the blue one. And to the best of my knowledge, there's only a few people that got this figure a little bit early as early samples sent out by different companies that Mcfarlane works with. And this is the first person. I'm the first person to review this as buying it from retail. I just got it. Only one other person in my area even knows that this is out. So, all right, let's go ahead and dig into this Mortal Kombat guy. I got a little figure right here named Robin, also from Mcfarlane, to do the little comparison. So here's the barcode if you want to try to find it on BrickSeek or whatever. I'm doing something a little bit different with my camera this time. There we go. I don't know why it's not adjusting like autofocus, but now for me, this is a very significant release. First of all, my favorite color is blue, but that's not the main reason. It's one reason that it's a big time release for me. But even though these have been around since the 90s, the Spawn character, one of my best friends, he used to collect the original Spawn figures that were on the blue backdrop, the blue cards with the lightning on all around them. And let's take one more look at this awesome artwork. I wonder if that was drawn by Mcfarlane or painted by Mcfarlane or photographed by Mcfarlane. Who knows? Probably not, but maybe. Oh, this is funny. 14 plus, not a toy. Mcfarlane Toys. Mcfarlane Toys. Mcfarlane Toys. So it's a toy. I mean, it's not a toy, but it's made by a toy company. Anyway, y'all get it. Okay, so let's get into this guy real quick before we go. Try not to make this review too long. Here is the Mortal Kombat logo. Mortal Kombat, and it looks identical to what you get with the DC figures. This says DC on it instead of Mortal Kombat. The Fortnite ones have two pegs. Alright, so let's get them out of the packaging. And the reason this is such a important release, at least for me, like I said, my best friend used to collect these in the 90s, and I even bought him some for like birthdays and Christmas and stuff. But okay, so he's rubber banded in. I'm gonna have to cut him out real quick. I opened figures with him before, like as when I was real young. But technically speaking, for myself, this is my first Spawn figure. That's actually for me, not for him. So at the time, I thought they were really cool, because I bought them for him. And but I was a hardcore Star Wars figure collector, and I was a completionist. I bought every single thing that came out from Kenner, Hasbro. Okay. I'm going to pause it so you don't have to listen to that sound effect. Okay. So this that plastic is significantly thicker than most action figures, so it is much louder. Sorry, I had to smell the figure. That's what figure collectors do. Smell of a brand new action figure. But anyway, like I was saying, technically this is my first Spawn figure for myself. And so I'm very excited about that. I always wanted to collect them, but I was so hardcore into Star Wars, I wouldn't collect anything else. Well, for the most part. I did collect some Marvel figures, but the main reason I was completionist. I didn't want to dive into it. Oh wow, look at that. It is severely warped in the packaging, but you can straighten that out with a little bit of water. But this is kind of a softer, gummier rubber, and the same problem with Robin here. And yeah, so when I was collecting Star Wars, they were like $5 a figure, and these guys were going, $10. Now they're 20. But anyway, all right. So here's the close up here of the sword. There we go. I don't know what I just did. I made it so it could zoom back and forth. I'm still learning with this camera phone here. So there's the Spawn logo up there, nicely detailed. The original, I'll try to put a picture in here. I'll edit it, and but for the most part, this is the same as the original release. This a whole figure and sword is all has been released before, but they were in a different color scheme. Like I said, this is just a different color from the Mortal Kombat game, where you could choose a different color version to use in the game. So let's go over the figure and all its detail. There's the head sculpt here. I've already given this the once over or whatever, and it's got a great paint job. I don't see anything wrong with it as far as paint. Let's see. I didn't really look at this, but I don't know. Yeah, I guess it's supposed to be like that. Look at all the details in the cape, where it looks like it's leather or something. All these little cracks, and it's a little bit thicker down here. But there's the trademark, the copyright information. That's cool. That's why it's not on the figure. And this thing is very detailed. Look at the back of it. That's what Mcfarlane is all about, is detail. To the point that sometimes, or at least in the past, they weren't as articulated as they are now because of the details. They were always advanced in detail and paint, and compared to the figures that were on the market at the time. So, I'm just I was loving this cape. But anyway, now the cape is normally red. Same with his gauntlets right here. And I believe this part is red. Like I said, I'll try to put a picture in there when I edit the video. All these little parts, basically anything that's gray on this figure is red on the original release. Anything on here that's blue is white on the original release. But I like it. I was thinking about getting another one, maybe even 2 more, simply because, when I think of blue Spawn, I would think, I'm kind of surprised they did it this way, where it's gray, mostly gray, and like a charcoal type black. But I would like to see all the gray stuff that actually blue instead of gray, and then say the blue stuff gray instead of blue. Like, that's the way I would have done it. That would have been cool. But I like it the way it is, or I wouldn't have got it. But so let's go over. I'm doing this at night, so I hope we have enough light here but I had the brightness adjusted differently earlier, but I couldn't zoom in when I was using this brightness. It was like in a locked position, so I'm adjusting it again right now. So hopefully you still capture all the detail even though I can't zoom. Look at that gauntlet. Look at all those spikes. Maybe one of the reasons why it says this is not a toy is because when you get into these kind of collectibles, some of those spikes can be very sharp. Some of them aren't sharp, some of them are kind of rubbery, but some of them can be sharp sometimes. And we got a lot of wash, a lot of gray, a lot of gold. Look at that big old, I don't even know what you call that, bucket around his leg. And the skulls. Now these are rubber. They're not actual metal, not real chain. But like the Kickstarter one I think was. But they're very soft, very soft. This is the same kind of material basically, but it's tighter. This stuff right here, like this, you can hear it, but it's very soft, pliable. It's let's see, Robin's cape, about the same, but yeah. So the only Mcfarlane figures I have so far, I have 2 Fortnite figures, which are I reviewed before Scully. That's the only one I've uploaded so far. But I've also got the Dark Bomber, and then I've got this Robin. This is the first one I opened, Mcfarlane, for myself. So this is a significant figure for me too. And the only reason I really wasn't collecting these before is because the majority of my collection is the 6-inch scale, and they tower over those. Now, Robin being shorter, that's why he's in this review, shorter than your average Mcfarlane, 7-inch figure. He's more like 6 inches. He's actually 6 inches exactly, I think. And so he fits right in with the 6-inch scale figures, even though he's skinny kid. But this version is like the Teen Titans leader version. Damian, not Dick Grayson from the original Batman. But anyway, that's why he was in the review, and he is the reason, to some extent, why I decided to collect Mcfarlane. And I got Batman, the Dark Knight, the Arkham Knight Batman. I haven't opened him, but I'm going to review him too, probably. And but Spawn is a totally separate thing, and I was always going to get this Spawn no matter what. Even when I saw the other one, the only thing I didn't really like at the first was this thing. That's not part of his original costume, so it's a little bit different. And oh wow, I was wondering why his foot looked like that. So I mean, they got toe articulation. So speaking of articulation, let's go over that real quick. So we've got, I believe, I think it's just on a ball, the head, but without the cape in the way, it would go all the way around. And you can get some tilt, go down quite a bit, and up a little bit. And then you got, of course, the arms go out to a little bit past the full T. And of course, you can swivel them around. If the cape wasn't in the way, you'd be able to go all the way around. And then you got bicep swivel. You got double joints at the elbow. They go up pretty good for even with the armor in the way. It's still past 90. Let's see about this side. Let's see. Depends on how you utilize the joint, but I mean it still goes past 90, which is a good thing. Then you got the wrists that spin around, and it's hard to see, but they are on that Mcfarlane universal joint there. I can show it a little bit better with this one. Wow, they're starting to hide these joints a little bit better, it looks like. It's the same kind of joint as right here, is in the ankle, where it goes up and down, and it twists like that, so you can see the joint. And the same kind of joint, but see if it goes in and out. Yeah, there you go. So you can see how it goes in and out. But if you twist it around, you should be able to make it go. If you twist his hand on the end of the joint there, you might be able to make it like a sword holding, like up and down vertical joint. But I just opened this figure, as you saw. Let's see. Yeah, it is still on that kind of joint. Here we go. I've got it in that position. It's very hard to see though on the camera, but you can see that joint. It's still the same joint. It still goes up and down, but it's virtually impossible to use with these huge gauntlets on his arms. They're in the way, and these are glued down onto the figure, so yeah, so it does hinder it. He's got a full range of motion in the torso. They even painted the back, which was a good thing. And then he's also got look at that joint right there. It's hard to see, but let me turn up the brightness again, just to make sure you guys are seeing it right. But he's got a full range of motion waist swivel too. It's on a ball socket. So this part is actually rubber. It's a rubber overlay that goes over the figure. And this whole body looks like it's just all muscle, like it has no skin on it. So he can go up pretty much all the way. He can even go back all the way, which is very rare for a lot of 6-inch figures or 7-inch scale. So this one seems to go up better. I don't know why. You can see that joint right there. And you can kind of see it right there. It's the same one as the Fortnite figure that I did before. It's a 22-point system. And Robin's is a little different. So yeah, it gets out of the way and it gives you full range pretty much. Yeah, so it goes all the way up. Then you got a double joint, of course, at the knee. Wow. There we go. You can see his foot articulating. And the toe joints, of course. And so let's get to his ankle right here. It's the same as Robin, which I just showed you a minute ago. That universal type of joint. And it's got the, as you can see, it's got the swivel joint buried into the front, the forward-facing pin. So you can do it like that. Or you can twist this joint around either way you want. So he's got plenty of articulation. We got like 1, 2, 3, 4 points right there. This other foot has the same thing, but it's kind of hard to see because of the big boot thing. So that's 8 points of articulation. 10, 12, now 13, 14, and you got 15, 16, 17, and then you got the hands, which are on the same kind of joint as Robin, but it's just hard to see. So technically speaking, he has 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 25, 27, 29, 30, 31, 32, and I forgot to mention he's also got this butterfly type joint right there in the corner. You can barely see it. It goes forward, but it gets locked in place, it looks like. And then it does go back, but it's like this cup that goes around his shoulder. But you can see the joint right there. So it's like some kind of butterfly. And see, it actually goes upwards too. So he has this upward angular. Man, let's see. See like that. It's kind of at an angle, which most figures don't have. So it does do its job. So it does do something. It's not there for nothing. But it's one of those points of articulation that most people don't really realize is there, but it's there. So I forgot what the count was, but I think it was like 31. But just real quick, if you're wondering why it's called 22-point system, each part that allows for articulation, that's why they call it 22 points. Like this part here where, the ankle where it would go up, which is 1 point, and then the forward-facing pin, and then the twist, which is technically 3 points, in most companies. And the reason it's like that is because that's considered one moving part. It's one part that allows several points of articulation. So that's why they do it like that. So they have, I think, the way they do it is 1, 2, and then the toes, 3, 4. The knees are considered one piece because even though they allow 2 points of articulation. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8, then 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, Did I do the wrists? I don't remember. Anyways, so actually it goes like this. It's like the toe joints 1, 2, 3, 4 for the ankles, 5 and 6 for the knees, and I think he counts those as 2 because they're anyway, I've done this before. I forget what it was, but I told people what it was before. 5, 6, 7, 8. They consider this one part because technically it's one part, that torso in between, but it articulates up here and it articulates down there. So this part, and then the head and the shoulders, the biceps, the double joints and the elbows, and then the wrist joints. So that's the 22 points. That's how they actually calculate it. That's how Todd does. But anyway, for the most part, let's check out his sword real quick. He doesn't have any place to like sheath it or anything, but you might be able to get it between these chains. Yeah, looks like it. I'm not sure what this is. I think that's just, can't tell if it's molded on or a separate piece. It kind of looks like a separate piece, but it definitely doesn't come off or move. So you can kind of put his sword in there. It's kind of thick, but yeah, technically, I mean, yeah. So you could hold a sword right there. And then this looks more like gripping hand. Either one, I'm sure will hold it just fine. So let's try it out. Now the sword is really gummy and the hands are pretty hard plastic. But because wow. Yeah, these fingers are extremely posable. The hands are normally considered really hard, but these bend a little bit more than a lot of the figures that they put out. So you could probably get him into a double-handed sword pose. I haven't got much sleep lately, so I'm not talking as well as I normally do. So let's see if, unfortunately, his articulation is getting in the way, kind of. Well, it's not his articulation; it's the extra stuff. Okay, so technically speaking, you can probably force him into that pose because his joints are rubberier than Robin and stuff, but you can technically do it. It just takes some effort to do that. Robin has completely different types of joints, so he has a very easy time of doing that because Robin only has single jointed elbows, but they have a great range of motion, but that's why he can do it and Spawn can't. But technically, but when I was reviewing the Fortnite figures, that was one thing I was talking about. Like, the only thing that I had an issue with really was how hard their hands were, how hard plastic they were, and I thought that they're kind of brittle and that they might break. And these joints are much softer. This is all soft rubber. These do kind of stab you a little bit. They are spiky, and same with on the bottom. Just feeling it. It's not dull. It's not dulled down too much like a lot of other companies would do because they're considered toys. But this is more of an adult collectible, or supposed to be. So these are much softer than this stuff. And so just so when you're posing him around, that does happen. You get kind of poked a little bit, not to the point that you'll bleed or anything. It's not sharp, but it is pokey, very pointy, and you will feel it, especially down here on this hard plastic foot when I was moving this joint. And anyway, my overall thoughts on this figure, I liked it a little. I actually like it a little bit better than I thought I would, because of I don't know. It didn't give me any real problems. The only thing is maybe with the fact that it can't hold it two-handed, really, without really bending in that rubber. It kind of looks like, in a way, it's like the way these arms are made. It's got more bulk on this side. Well, kind of. Actually, it's the other way around. But it's just the way that they, it just looks like that. But, let's see. Well, now that I got him down. See, he can do it. But what you're doing is, yeah, you could do it, but you're kind of forcing the rubber to bend a little bit in those elbow joints to hold it. So it may warp your arms a little bit, but he can do it. But Robin can just do it easier because his articulation is different, completely different. I mean, he's only got single jointed knees. He's but he's got very different articulation. His legs will pop off real easy too. And I might review him too, simply because he was my first Mcfarlane figure. But I'll probably put this one up quicker because I'm the first one to do it, and I want to get it up there as fast as possible. So he does come with a figure stand. It is exactly the same as this, so we can try that out real quick. Just the DC one. There we go. That fits in there nice and tight, much tighter than on Robin, because Robin's feet, the mold, see, it kind of covers up where that normally would go in, so it doesn't go in deep enough. So that stand doesn't work very well for Robin, but it works very well for Spawn. Alright, so I think it's a great figure. I would give it probably, if I had to give it a score, I would give it probably about a 9.5 or out of 10. It's got a limited, just a little bit of a limit on articulation because of these gauntlets, but for the most part, you can still get them to do what you need to do. But it does hinder those wrist joints that they put in there, and that's really the only issue I would have with it. So if you like this review, hit the thumbs up button, hit subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. And great job, Mcfarlane. See, I told you he could do it. Holding up with both hands. It's stretching out a little bit.